Hello people, my name is Maylin Cortez and today we are talking about my critical review about the article number 1 Bonn Climate Conference what is cooked if we carried on with coal USA's by Matt Magran. Matt Magran is an important journalist to the BBC that during a lot of years he has focused in his articles in topics reference to environment, problems, different problems about the climate change, global warming, and such as. We was the winner of the first BBVA Philosophical Award for Environmental Communication in 2019. For his extended experience, he was the correspondent for the media in the climate conference was celebrated in Bonn, Germany, during June 6 and June 16, as a technical negotiation and preparatory meeting for the United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP 2017, in Egypt, for inspect the state of agreements of COP 26. Facing the importance to this event, and that goes hand in hand with climate change conference in June 6 to 2022, Magran related in his article it happened in the first day of the meeting, bowing to the different opinions and predictions of the expert and governing about the role of fossil fuels in the global warming, and as a cause for more broadcast carbon dioxide connecting in the war in Ukraine, and this role of the bigger emitters as China and the USA. In my opinion, I consider that the text has good sources because it includes information about work, companies, different entities that were daily against climate change, but forget to evaluate and analyze the conclusion of the last event and collaborate in the preparation of the solution for this problem. For me, it's a good summary of the one part of the Bonn Climate Conference, but it's important to challenge assumption, contrasting, and challenge the perspective of this topic and visualize possible solution. The summary. In the text about the first day of the event, Matt Magran analyzed the climate change and global warming situation starting to the use of coal in the world and the fossil fuels. Aspect goes hand in hand with the war in Ukraine, and different predictions where the experts foresaw that will the agreements of the United Nations Climate Change Conference in 2021 not be fulfilling. In turn, experts and science were analyzed different topics related to action to stop climate change, such as adaptation, resilience, technology, education, global stock, and no less important, climate finance. What's looked into around the amount provided and mobilized by developed countries. Magran mentioned over and over again of the expert opinions and the government actions regarding commitments against climate change that were acquired after different events in the world about this topic. In the same way, the journalist emphasized the war in Ukraine goes hand in hand with climate change because the global situation has raised the price of gas and generate problems in the supply lines. For this reason, and during the event, the expert should have looked for the solution to this problem. Also, the article analyzed different elements based on disagreements of the year, but unfortunately are few the advanced yet. The first, emission. In 2021, for this topic, the agreed was reduce the carbon dioxide for help to keep the temperature within 1.5 centigrades but only 11 countries out of 196 have put in practice an activity for this objective. 2. Fossil fuels. During the COP26 was implemented to plan for reduce the use of coal and think in the possible solution for oil and gas. Unfortunately, now more or less 3-4 countries considered have new coal plants, and India, the most consumer of coal, announced that they reopened 100 plants. Number 3. Deforestation. 100 countries promise to stop deforestation by 2030. The majority of the forests are in the United States, Brazil, China, Canada, Russia, and Brazil. But, for example, in Brazil, deforestation increased 69% last year. 4. Climate action. The developed countries should have provided $100 million a year for action to stop the climate change, but apparently it's necessary more money for solving the consequence in the other elements. For example, in this graph, to understand better this topic, in this graph can see the yearly investment of developed countries in climate change control activity during the decade from 2033 to 2023. Different experts predict that in this decade, the amount of money will increase steadily, but between 2015 and 2016, speed up the climate funds, but science 2017. Slower, so seen, so to wrap up weekly. From 2017 to 2019, in the graph it's possible to analyze reaction of plateau, and the amount of money for climate change is more or less stagnant. Experts expect that in 2023, climate finance, once and more of all, can serve for making important activities that help against in the climate change such situation in the world. For this reason, the goal for 2023 will be 100 billion. 5. Methane. It's important to reduce of methane emissions by 2030. But last year, the methane increased, and in the agriculture and energy sector are the principal user for this element. Step by step in the text highlights also the situation about fuels in China and in the United States. However, Matt Grant could have explained more or less the position and the opinions of different sectors participate, creating a more level playing field about the solution in the situation, and not only mention the word of the expert if no source contrasts the information. In my opinion, the article not only is a new about the event, is a good reference for the vegan to the Bonn Climate Conference and analyze focusing the idea in one only point, fossil fuels and the connection of this topic with the war in Ukraine. In the website of United Nations Climate Change, the information is more extended. The information of agreements to all parts in the meeting, the supports to developed countries in the progress that made in base to the Climate Conference 2021, and put on the table the main challenge and assumption to road to COP27 in Niger. It's very important that the journal mentions the principal actors in the event, what's the position, contrasting the information, and stand out that agreements of last year doesn't fall yet. In the article, could have read out and about different climate catastrophes that affect the result for melting of the glaciers, droughts, and slipping of land, and it's interesting to call the shots for a strong generous solution. Finally, in media as France 24, Elabora, Carbon Free, and other similar highlight the speech of Patricia Espinosa, UN Climate Change Security Secretary, in the opening of the meeting is a calling for instantly advances for each sector involved in the strategies and obtain weekly the result for the safe plan. Thank you.